Hey guys, I'm Dex, and this is Evie, and we are the Cousins. Why Monster Hunter Stories 2 is worth actually playing. Did you know that since its first PlayStation 2 debut, Monster Hunters has been one of Capcom's biggest franchises, dominating sales charts in Japan before finally exploding stateside with Monster Hunter World. And in 2016, we saw the release of Monster Hunter Stories, a spin-off that swapped out the usual hunter and action-oriented hunting mechanics for a monster rider who fought beasts in a turn-based game that took part in a much more expansive story than the usual games. You know, I actually remember playing the original games, but not actually completing it, yet I still had a lot of fun playing it. If I remember correctly, the only reason why I stopped playing was due to the busyness of life. Thank you, college and work, for that. This was actually my very first Monster Hunter game that I played, and I specifically remember looking up on Google games like Pokemon for the DS and this game popping up. I bought it and I thoroughly enjoyed my time with the first game, and it's safe to say that I wasn't the only one. The first Stories was such a success, it led to the release of Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruins. So for the game being out for a little over a month, and the game boasts a 81 Metascore, a 8.3 user score, and over 1 million copies sold, the question has to be asked, and it might have even popped up in your mind: is Monster Hunter Stories 2 a game that I would enjoy? I think so, and here's why. Number one, whether you're a casual or a hardcore gamer, you can enjoy this game. If you just want to pick up a game and complete the story, you can. And if you want to pick up this game and catch all the monsters and grind them up to 99 with the perfect genes, you absolutely can. If you want to do something in between that, you can do that as well. You know what's funny is the strongest part of this game actually has nothing to do with the story. Although to me it felt like the actual story may have been more of an afterthought, I still found Wings of Ruins to be an exciting and perfect gateway into the franchise. The story may be nothing really to write home about, but not everyone likes the original Monster Hunter gameplay, and those people may well find what they're looking for in this game. I know I did. Monster Hunter Stories 2 is a warm and kind game with fun character design, engaging voice acting, and some beautiful designed areas. And even when things got kinda grindy, I wanted to keep going to meet new monsters, collect new monsters, and of course, find new friends. As you reach the end game, nearly all of the game systems are expanded upon, and completing the whole story can take anywhere from 30 hours, and if you include the side content and the end game, that can take you upwards towards hundreds of hours, maybe even rivaling 300 hours with Ben and Breath of the Wild. Monster Hunter Stories 2 is a win in my books. With so many quality of life changes from its predecessor on the 3DS, it's welcoming and accessible, familiar yet new, complex but not too confusing, and has plenty of surprises waiting for the player. It's amazing that the game has the ability to be played and completed in 30 or so hours, yet the flexibility to be enjoyed and played for so much more. Number 2. If you're a fan of Pokemon and wish Game Freak would just do the franchise justice, then this is probably the game for you. Shout out to my cousin John, as he was the first person to make this comment to me. And to me, it's the truth. How many times have you wished that Pokemon would become more in-depth in their gameplay and all their mechanics? Monster Hunter Story 2 offers a variety of different mechanics that you can master. Your monsters fight alongside you in battle, and doing so level both you and your monsters up. This isn't the only way to strengthen your companions though. There's of course quests, side quests, which will reward you with experience points, and then there's this thing called the Rite of Channeling, which allows you to sacrifice one monster in order to pass on a gene to another, unlocking a new ability for your chosen monster. It's a little dark, but seeing your monsters grow stronger through all of this is thoroughly satisfying and encourages you to find more and more monsters as you go. The battles are turn-based, and for me, that's my personal favorite way to battle in games. It uses a sort of rock, paper, scissors mechanic. Attacks are mostly split into red, which equals power, green, which equals technical, and blue, which equals speed. Although it's simple in principle, there's more levels to the action. For instance, at the beginning of each turn, you can pick which enemies you want to fight. You can also see who your enemies are targeting, giving you the choice of facing them in a head-on clash and seeing if you'll win. Or if you and your Monty target the same enemy, you'll unleash a double attack that overwhelms your foe and usually prevents them from striking back. In combat, you have basic attacks, skill attacks, and items. Skill attacks use your charge meter, a bar that builds up as you use your weapon, and depending on the weapon, it can be completely different in how it charges and how you do that. It tends to do increasingly more damage than your basic attack. Then, of course, you have your items, which range from heals to buffs to single-use weapons, and as you battle, you'll build up your kinship meter, which lets you unleash a right attack. This is where you mount your monster and you hit your foe to do even more damage. It has to be said that the combat is marvelous, with slick gameplay and some wonderfully over-the-top action sequences. It's absolutely stunning. There's also a ranking system at the end of each battle where you'll earn even more rewards based on how highly you've scored and how well you battled. Honestly, I could go on and on about the battle mechanics, but truthfully, it's something best experienced. With over 100 monsters to battle and 80 plus to collect, and free updates increasing these numbers throughout this year, Monster Hunter Story 2 hits all the check marks for me. Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruins deserves to find a sizable audience with the older Pokemon fans or Pokemon fans that are just looking for more. It's absolutely full of charm and boasts depth beyond what Pokemon has been able to offer in the past couple of years. Number 3. If you're a fan of adventure and exploring, you will seriously enjoy this game. When you're not engaged in battle, there's no shortage of gorgeous places to explore and visit in this game. There are beautiful villages filled with fleshed out NPCs offering you places to rest and to resupply. And these peaceful areas also offer a smith where you can buy and sell weapon, armor, and other related items. They also offer a forge where you can make your own accessory using parts harvested and collected from the monsters you defeated. This part is particularly fun for me, and it lets me build a numerous amount of armors that I like. My favorite is the Astralos armor right now, as well as a manner of deadly weapons that you can use to defeat even more monsters. Then there's the wide-ranging overworld. I'm not a big fan of open world games, but this is a good in-between. It's full of monsters, dens, treasures, and gorgeous areas. For me, the Monsties are the best bit of Monster Hunter Stories 2. As you explore the world, you find monster dens that are randomly scattered about, and each den houses a nest containing an egg for you to plunder, hatch, and then raise as your own. Occasionally, you'll find a gold-colored, rare monster den which offers a potentially more exciting egg. And the more eggs you acquire, the more Monsties on your team, the more genes you get, and who doesn't want that? You can head out to take in the sights whenever you'd like, but the main quest will have you covering most places just about anyway. There's also the ability to fast travel to points located throughout the game so you can retreat and recover with ease. Your monsters are vital in traveling the world. As you ride on their backs, different monsters will offer different ways of moving. While they all tend to run along the ground, some also have the ability to jump across ravines or climb vines, and my personal favorite, flying around the map. These extra forms of movement allow access to new areas, often leading to amazing treasure chests and items that can help you out in the story. And then, of course, there's multiplayer. What more fun than adventuring by yourself? It's adventuring with the boys or with the girls. And Monster Hunter Story 2 offers both versus and co-op multiplayer modes. The former pits you against other players as you fight with your Monsties in a turn-based duel to see who is the absolute best. Then there's the co-op mode, where you'll fight together against various monsters. So in review, do I think Monster Hunter Stories 2 is worth actually playing? Absolutely. Like I said, whether you're casual or hardcore, I think you'll enjoy the game. If you're a fan of Pokemon and wish Game Freak would do more with the franchise, then this game is just that. And of course, if you're a fan of adventuring and exploring, you will seriously enjoy this game. In short, Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruins is an excellent turn-based RPG for the Nintendo Switch. Raising monsters is a rewarding experience thanks to a variety of ways to strengthen your creatures. Battles are always satisfying with great rewards for when you perform well, and the world is absolutely stunning and beautiful and fun to explore. I can honestly say Monster Hunter Stories 2 is a marvelous game and is a must-have for Switch players. But hey, don't take my word for it. Buy it and experience it yourself. Thanks for watching, and until next week, my name is Dex, and you're watching The Cousins.